Wex On, Wex Off starts right now with Jason Wexler.
I need my money, I need it on time. I gotta get it, then I
Another exciting edition of Wex On, Wex Off. Don't have to go out to the phones, so we're going to use one to record. Joining us now, live from his bedroom, NSN Sports, Pat Taylor. Pat, how you doing?
It's an honor and a privilege to be here on this show. Thank you so much, Jason, for having me. It's exciting to get the reunion of the And One brought to you here live from my bedroom, as Jason did mention. It's very exciting to be back here, though, have to say. Listen,
I love the And One, and I wish, you know what, we're gonna hack into my Ithaca College email, and we're gonna get that from our good friend Alex Leibowitz. We're gonna get the Open to the And One, a show you could have seen 7 years ago on VIC Radio from 10 to midnight.
Yeah,
Monday nights, I chose that because I'm an idiot. Literally the worst slot. Dude, I had first pick of the slot, and that's what I chose. Meanwhile, there was Asman picking a good slot because he was smarter than me.
Well, hindsight is always 20/20. You learn from the mistake. It's all right, though. The show is still spectacular. Still about to bring you more information about sports. Depending on the sport you're interested in, you might as well stick around. We're going to get
but here's my point. Here's my point, Patrick. You're coming on here and you're talking about the And One. Well, I'm proud of the work that we did there. This is not that.
This is true.
This is Wax On, Wax Off.
So do I wax on or do I wax off? I have to ask. I mean, it's the same
question
Noah, everyone asks.
Dude, Noah, just because Noah asked it doesn't look.
I have aspirations, man. I got to be like Noah.
Of course you have aspirations. We started with Kestisher. We went with Noah Eagle. Ian's coming on next week. Arnie Spanier, Tom Looney, the voice of the Charlotte Hornets, Sam Farber. But you're a reminder that stay humble.
Touche. I'll keep it in check.
This really is a podcast unlike any other. Here to talk about sports. So naturally, we're going to begin with the NHL, Pat. The Rangers. 42, 22, and 13 last year. 107 points. Fifth best in the Eastern Conference. Know that they had a first-round series with the Devils. Know they won the first two games in Newark. Yeah. And then, well,
didn't go very well for them after that, unfortunately. I mean, I think that they sold a little bit too much into buying in at the deadline. I think that kind of bit them a little bit in that series. They also faced up against a really talented New Jersey Devils team. They play very similar hockey to my favorite team, the Colorado Avalanche, a very, kind of mixed up team in terms of you got defense jumping into the play a lot more. It's a really tough team to play against fundamentally, so I can understand the Rangers' frustration as their fan base suffered a really tough loss and they just still can't get that cup since '94, man. It's a tough drought for the Rangers fans.
And I understand that, but it's not like they haven't been, had a couple of good teams the last 10 years or so when they were, I believe they lost to, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows me knows I'm not a hockey first guy. Converted Rangers fan because I used to own an Anders Lee shirt. Then I got a shirt from the NHL store. Did you know that if you spend over $30, they don't charge you sales? Excuse me, if you spend under $100 is what it is from the NHL store, live and in person. People still go to stores. Anyway, if you spend less than $100, you don't have to pay tax on the shirt. So I was eating something, I got a little something on my shirt. And I was like, all right, I'm going to spray and wash it. The problem is, I didn't use the spray and wash pad, I used the bleach.
Oof. Big mistake. It's all right. Learning from mistakes. It's a running theme in this podcast.
That was $45 down the drain.
Happens to the best of us, honestly. I could have made the same mistake. I'm not going to sit here and judge you for something I could have done. But, maybe... It's to better explain more kind of what the Rangers fans are going through. I mean, all right. Well, if you want to interject, it is your show. So let me just take a step back.
I just have a question for you. You come here for the hard-hitting questions, and I thought of one.
Of course. Always loving hard-hitting questions.
But this is what I wanted to start with, and I'm sorry. I just, I think I'm funny, so get a little bit off topic. And the great thing about a podcast is you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Absolutely. So what is your freaking question?
So my question is, should the Rangers have moved on from Gerard Gallant? Despite how it ended, they had a good team. They blew the end of that series, and that's obviously disappointing, but the guys only had, I believe, 3 years coaching the Rangers, and you're ready to make a move already.
Well, the Rangers historically have been trying to do different things to win the cup, and maybe they felt that he was not going to fit the shape of this team organizationally. I mean, I know that this team is now built from the defense up, and they were really trying to stack up at the deadline with the additions of Tarasenko and Patrick Kane, of course, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to get either of those guys back with Tarasenko signing with Ottawa, and we're still not sure where Kane's going. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Peter Laviolette does for them. I mean, it's a return to New York for him. He used to work for the Islanders, so getting a chance to work.
He used to work for the... Did he coach?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
he used to work for the Islanders. I love... People have been using that, work for the Islanders. I just think that's a funny way to frame it, because...
I mean, true. I mean, he was a head coach. I'm not going to disrespect the work he put in for the Islanders.
I'm not saying he didn't work there, but it's just an interesting way to say that he was the head coach.
Very true, very true. Maybe it does downplay it a little bit, but I think that Laviolette will be a good coach for New York. I think that also the thing is that the Rangers realistically have to find a way to be able to compete in this tough Metropolitan Division, and it's going to be tough for a long time, and it's gonna be a grind that the Rangers are going to have to be able to put up with. I mean, they put up 107 points last year, Jason, and they didn't have home ice advantage in Game 1 of a playoff series. That's crazy.
They didn't have it in Game 2 either.
No.
And they still won. That's not the problem. The problem is you lose the next 4 games of the series. Pat, did the Bruins fire their coach?
I don't believe the Bruins did, but
but they failed, right?
But
they failed. They lost in the first round, and they were the best team ever.
The Bruins had a very different aspect going on. The Bruins also had a lot of people in kind of an era that just ended for them, in their last kind of stride towards trying to win a cup. And they had one of the most magnificent regular seasons. You cannot really fire a coach after losing that series. The NHL playoffs...
Why not? He failed. Blame the coach. It's not the players.
I mean, of course, I agree with you in terms of, if you're going to have to bite the head of a snake, you might as well take the head coach now. But it's not about that when you look at the
Bruins compared to
what happened with the Rangers.
If you're going to have to bite the head of a snake...
I don't know, man.
Is that... No. I'm just wondering, is that a term that I didn't know, or...
You snip the head...
Did you make that up, or no?
There's something about a snake...
Did you make it up?
Organizations... I don't know. I kind of did, maybe.
That's fine. We're all full of shit here. We just want to know.
Well, you know who's also full of shit? That's Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane is really full of shit, and the fact that guy was getting paid $10 million last year to play hockey anywhere was absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that the Rangers sold so high on him is one of the reasons that I do believe that the Rangers have a problem systematically that goes deeper than just who's the head coach. They got to change their philosophy in hockey. They've had, if you look through the 2000s, honestly, their roster is one of the best all time in terms of the guys that they've had. Jaromir Jagr, just to name. Mark Messier was there, obviously, back in the day. But you just had guys that were...
How about Henrik Lundqvist?
Pavel Bure. Just guys that were there for just... You couldn't believe that they weren't able to put teams together around them to win cups. So, with the Rangers, I think it's a philosophy change, and maybe Laviolette brings that.
We'll see about that, Pat. I'm going to give you your spotlight. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Colorado Avalanche, 51-24-7 last year, 109 points. Second in the Western Conference, first in the Central Division. Pat, they didn't win the Stanley Cup last year, but they won it the year before. How are we looking?
I mean, as a fan, you can't really be upset with what happened. As you look back, you really have to think about the long-term effects of last season. We didn't have Landeskog, our captain, obviously, all year due to the knee injury and then the consequential surgery he had to have in the off-season, and now he's actually on long-term IR, which means that $7 million that he did have is now freed up to sign some other dudes. And that's why you see additions like Ross Colton, Miles Wood to add some depth to this roster, but it's just really unfortunate for the Avs what happened last year. It's just a matter of a lot of guys getting hurt, and they didn't have anyone that could put the puck in the back of the net. And the one thing I will say, though, about the Avalanche I'm not very happy about, everyone's so buzzing about seeing Cale Makar on the NHL 24 case. He's on the video game.
Did you cop the game?
I haven't got the game yet, but I'm honestly a little afraid.
I'm sorry, it probably didn't come out yet. I just realized
It's not out yet, I don't believe, but even pre-order
$5 pre-order, dude. Here you go.
I'm not pre-ordering it, though, I swear.
Dude, no, it's fine.
I'm not going to do this because I don't believe that... I believe in the curse. I'm not going to sit
Dude, here you go. $5.
$5?
Yeah, pre-order.
They don't accept this on online currencies, right? Like I have to now.
You could go to a store. I told you this before.
I can go to a bank and put this in now.
People still go to stores. I just told you this.
For the record, he took the $5 back. I just want that to be known for the podcast. So honestly, if you
we're gonna edit that out. We're gonna edit that out.
That was great. No, but in all seriousness, with the Avalanche, I really do think that they have an ability to get back into the long-term goals of winning another cup, obviously. But they're going to have to add a couple of other guys around McKinnon and Rantanen that are going to be able to put pucks in the back of the net because they can't depend on the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, you need more than two people to win games. We know that for sure.
They already have the defense. There's no question about that.
You know what else we know for sure?
What's that?
Wax on, wax off continues after this. The most exciting sport of the year. It's not football. We'll get to that and we'll do it next. This is wax on, wax off. You do it.
What do you mean I do it? This is your show. I don't know if I'm waxing or waxing on. I still haven't figured it out yet. No one's told me anything. But if you really want me to just tell you what the audience...
I didn't come back
from
break yet. No, I literally was telling you to do it.
Do what? The grid?
No, come back from break. Never mind.
I'm so confused.
All right, never mind.
We're going to edit this part out because nobody knows what's happening.
All right, so we're going to come back. All right, welcome back. We're still not sponsored by anybody, but if you want to do it, you know where to reach me. Pat, the most exciting sport of the year. It's not the NFL. It's not the NBA. It's obviously not the NHL.
Sadly.
Baseball. The pitch clock.
Yeah.
We're moving and grooving. That said, Patrick, my Mets, they're playing terrible. 57 and 66, 23 games back, yada, yada, yada. 7 games back for the wild card. Verlander's out. They get rid of Scherzer as well. The best thing to happen in the Mets this year has been Keith Rad. That's a fact. That's it.
Well, while I can't disagree with that statement, I also, have to, think the Mets are taking the right course of action moving forward. They've made a decision. They've told their fans, hey, don't expect us to compete this year. And also next year, our plan is 2025. So honestly, I can respect an owner for, making that hard pivot. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I respect the Mets' decision, although it's hard to watch games, especially that one that you went to, Jason, where they gave up 21 runs. Like, sheesh.
It was 21-3, right? Last Saturday.
Yeah.
Can we double?
I'm
right,
pretty
because
sure
I was texting. Dude, I was texting you during it. That's my fault.
That's
my fault, dude. And I made sure to tell you that, hey, my father and I and my uncle, we weren't sitting in the right seats. We had seats out there in left field. But the beautiful thing about being up at the 5th row at Citi Field is there's no ushers, so you just kind of sit wherever you want.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a great thing about baseball these days. And also, I'm happy to re-solidify whether or not that was the actual final score. They put up a lot of runs. That's what I do remember. I just remember laughing at the end by the time we got to the final score line. Do you remember the exact date of the game, Jason?
It's a week from today, so it was last Saturday. If you're asking me what's today's date, I don't know. I can figure it out, but it would take me a minute.
I got it. All right. So the final score of that game was 21-3. Yep, we had it right.
Great, right. It was 3 touchdowns to a field goal.
And it was the first game of a doubleheader.
That's the other problem.
It was 6-0. The Mets got scored on 27-3 over 18 innings.
So I was talking to my dad before this, earlier in the week, right, about going to the game. We were figuring out the logistics, right? So he's telling me, and I'm telling him the game's at 4. He said, no, it's not. That's impossible. I said, I'm pretty sure it's at 4. He said, well, the game originally maybe was at 4. This game's at 1. It's part of a doubleheader. And Pat, I love me a doubleheader.
Was it at least a single admission doubleheader, or did you have...
No, it wasn't, and that's my problem.
That's crazy. I think that's so ridiculous.
They don't do that anymore, and we know that that's normal, that that's not a single admission, a doubleheader.
Oh, they do that sometimes, but not...
Listen, I went to Yankee Stadium a couple of years ago with our buddy Adam. I went to a single admission doubleheader on Wednesday, and I'd been at the game with him on Monday, got rained out, whatever. My dad says, don't you have to work on Wednesdays? I said, the wonderful thing about calling out sick is then you don't have to work on Wednesday. So we went to the doubleheader, and we got the candied bacon down the right field line. Don't know if the Yankees won the game, but man, that bacon is good. Have you had that?
I can't say I have. I really can't. But the one thing I can say about Yankee Stadium that I don't like as a fan is, and pardon my French, the friggin' wave. I swear.
I'm over. I'll do it twice. That's it. I'm not trying to go back and forth and back and forth.
It's not even that, Jay. It's this. It's picture this. It's the bottom of the 8th. There's 2 outs. The Yankees are down by 1 run against the Houston Astros.
Sure.
And we're doing
It
the
sounds like a
goddamn
target-
wave?
Sounds like a targeted story. Like,
We're doing the wave? Are you kidding me? You want to talk about a spoiled, stupid fan base? Sorry,
I'll talk to you.
Fan.
I'll talk to you about a stupid fan base. I one time went to a minor league baseball game for the Vermont Lake Monsters. I'm not saying the fan bases are stupid, but what I'm saying is the people at the ballpark that they were stupid because they're getting pumped. Fly ball, center field. Williams going to go back. He'll make the catch, and the crowd goes wild. The runner goes from third to home, but guess what, Pat? The run doesn't count. There was 2 outs, and these idiots are applauding F8. That ends the inning. That leaves 2 runners stranded. What are we doing here?
That's just bad baseball.
No, it's the fans were stupid.
No, I know. I am agreeing
listen,
with
it was,
you. That's just.
It was bad baseball, dude. It was high A.
It was well. There was that, but it's also the fact that I was just being silly with those parents. I mean, those parents of those kids on that team. We could just cut that part out if you can. But I was just being silly with.
We're not going to cut that out. We could cut it out. We're not going to.
Well, you know what? Speaking of the cutting edge things, you want to play a game?
I like games.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Well,
I've never played a game on the air before. I mean, you know what? I'm ready. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop talking. I'm ready.
Well, you don't even know what game it is. So are you sure you're even ready?
What the fuck else am I doing? Let's go.
All right. So the game that's been sweeping the nation, the Immaculate Grid. Since we're talking about baseball, let's give it a shot. We pulled up an infinite baseball grid. We own no rights to this, by the way.
Yep, this is not ours. Let's be clear. I don't know if it's MLB. Thank you for the rights, or
It's not MLB.
All right, but so you can explain how the game works?
Absolutely. So essentially, you're going to get a grid of 9 squares, and you'll get teams at the top for a category. We have at the top the Houston Astros, Milwaukee Brewers, and the Yankees. And going down on the left side, you have teams also there. You have the Miami Marlins, the Mariners, and the Mets. Jason and I both have visual of this, so we'll be able to look at it. But essentially,
It's like it's television.
It is like television for us, but it's audio for them. So
Does that mean we're simulcast?
simulcasting, brought to you live by
Again, no one, but we're taking your calls.
exactly. But essentially, you have to match a player that's played for both of the teams. One that's from the left side, and obviously one from the top. So
it's a baseball Punnett square. Let's get to work.
very true. So the first one off the bat that I've noticed is that Yankees-Mets is probably going to be the easiest one.
So we're going to leave that till the end because we both know we can fill that one up very easily.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
A guy that's played for the Mets and the Houston Astros, Justin Verlander.
Very good pick. I don't think Verlander can go anywhere else on this grid, so that's a good pick there. Let's see.
So going left to right, Houston, what is that, Milwaukee? Is that right?
Yep. Milwaukee.
Houston, Milwaukee, New York Yankees going down on the left side, Marlins, Seattle, and the Mets, Pat. You can really jump around wherever. Just be sure to tell us what you're looking to multiply here.
Well, I'm going to go with Yankee Seattle here, and I'm going to go with Mike Ford.
Who?
Only 2% of people got it, so I'll give you that.
Nobody's ever heard of him.
Mike Ford was a guy who came up with the Yankees and now ended up at Seattle as a DH some days this year. He's back with
Everyone's a
the team this
DH nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good hitter. I mean, if you look at the Yankees farm system, there's tons of stories that have come out about the fact that they don't really concentrate on fundamentals. They just care about velo now. So Mike Ford...
What about the exit velo?
Exactly. That's what Mike Ford is good for, and he can hit the ball hard. Hit strikes hard.
All right, so my turn, right?
Absolutely, if you want to go.
Yankees, Marlins, Mike Stanton, Giancarlo.
Giancarlo. That is correct.
Obviously.
52%.
Was there doubt? I knew.
How about Marlins, Brewers? I want to say Gene Segura. I think Gene Segura.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you have 6 guesses until you lose.
That's why it has to be immaculate because you cannot miss one. Missing one will, of course,
So this is
knock you down. You won't be able to complete it.
this is like Wordle for the illiterates.
It's actually funny enough. You can play this on Wordle on an app, I believe.
You can play this on Wordle?
Yeah, it's Wordle 2. It's a new app that was created, essentially programmed to have this same functionality for, I think, multitudes of sports too.
Dude, I really gotta get my head out of the ass. There's so many things I don't know about.
Yeah, there's also grids for other sports now. There's grids for football. There's grids for hockey. There's grids for...
Of course, there's grid for basketball. It was created like 2 days after my cousin showed me this. I was texting him. I sent him some random baseball trivia. And he sent me this grid. And then 2 days later, I was playing the NBA grid. All right. You could fill in anything pretty much you know. Because except for really the Mets and the Brewers, Mike Cameron.
That's a good pick. Mike Cameron. That'll actually work. And 0.44%. Congrats on that. I'm going to take a shot.
I wanted one, man.
I'm going to take a shot.
Okay.
Gene Segura. Miami Marlins. Milwaukee Brewers. I believe my research.
Was he a Florida Marlin, though?
No, he was on the Marlins this year, I believe.
All right. And he got it.
And it works. 6% of people got it. All right, cool.
All right, so let's recap. We got 4 guesses remaining.
4 guesses remaining.
Wait a minute. So if we get
No
one of them
misses.
wrong, do we lose?
Yeah, if we get something wrong, we just cannot fill out the grid. So essentially, it has to be immaculate 9 straight correct guesses. So we're still leaving.
Oh, that's why it's immaculate. Oh my God, I get it now.
Yeah, because
because an immaculate inning is
exactly
9 strikes.
Oh my God, I just broke your mind, didn't I?
3 squared, baby.
There you go.
All right.
I did. I don't know.
So
I'm trying to think of
the Brewers in Seattle. I know it can't happen for a variety of reasons, and this is not the answer. But I would love to say Stan Ross. Because Stan Ross is the boss.
I don't think it's Stan Ross, though.
Well, because he's not a real person. Mr. 3000.
Oh, man.
Bernie Mac, baby. We're missing you. You had a really terrible TV show, Bernie Mac. Wasn't fun. All right, so obviously I'm stalling. Feel free to pick up another one when you're ready.
Trying to think of, I feel like Houston, Miami shouldn't be as hard as I'm thinking it is. I feel like there was a trade, actually, between the two teams. No, I'm thinking of Carlos Zambrano, who was traded from the Cubs to the Marlins. I feel like there was a trade, though, between Miami and Houston.
Do you have any of those 3 there, Pat? Because
well, we can go Yankees Mets. What do you think?
I was gonna say if we're running out of other things to do, while I text my brother and see how he can help us complete this grid, because
you can phone a friend. We can
right. It's time to phone a friend. Oh, we're gonna call him live.
Well, the Yankees.
We'll call him live. No, I like that. Like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on a second. This is live, people. It doesn't matter if he curses this time, Pat. We're not on the radio.
Or we can call my
brother. Your brother can curse too. I was about to say, get ready to call Danny after this. We'll see if Rob answers. It's not looking good, Pat. Get Danny's number ready. Tony, you got to tell it to me. You tell it to me and I'll dial it, buddy. My brother's not answering. So, we can go with so many people for this, right? That's the thing about Yankees Mets. There's been so many great Yankees Mets. That's really the thing. I mean, you could go with Willie Randolph. You could go with pretty much whoever you want, Pat. It's the thing about it is you could go with so many different players. Did Curtis Granderson play for both those Yankees and Mets?
Absolutely, he did. He's an answer, but also
Willie Randolph. I mean, there's so many answers. Dude.
I mean, there's so many answers for Yankees Mets. I mean, the Chris Capuano you could put there. You could put David Cone there. You could put plenty of guys there. I mean, it's tough for sure.
You think your brother's gonna pick up?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
You can text him. All right, text him.
This is me calling you. I'm texting my brother as we are live here on the West Side broadcast.
I'll text my brother as well. I think it's time officially to put in Willie Randolph in his rightful place.
Oh, hello, Dan. Welcome to the Wex on Wex Off podcast.
We're live here, and we need your help.
We're actually doing an immaculate grid, and we need your help. We're phoning a friend.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so we're looking for Houston, Miami, Houston, Seattle, Milwaukee, Seattle, and our backup is the Yankees and Mets, but we know that, but we're just not using.
You're going to help us fill it in because we've got 7 answers to that. We're going to get another one from you. We need Houston and Miami, please, sir.
Houston and Miami. Oof, Jesus.
It's a tough one, right? I feel like there was a trade, but I can't think of it.
I'm trying to think. Did Mike Hampton ever play for the Marlins?
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, that's probably better than any guess that I got, but I don't know if he did. I can't say that confidently.
I don't know. What about Seattle and Houston, my friend?
Seattle and Houston be Rafael Montero.
Okay.
That's a good one. I forgot about Rafael Montero on that one.
And Pat, because I already said we're live from your bedroom, I'm just going to say this too. We're recording it on a voice memo, and we're going to edit this down. Did us going to your text message get rid of the voice track, or no? Because that would just be terrible.
Absolutely not.
It absolutely did not. All right, good. And that's why we're live here, Danny. We're going to need Brewers and Seattle Mariners.
Brewers and Mariners. That's tough. Man, Brewers is just a blind spot for me. Brewers and Mariners.
Before you joined us, we said we would love to use Stan Ross, but there's plenty of problems with that. The first being that he's not a real person.
And did he play for the Mariners in that movie? I forget.
No, definitely not. He played for the Milwaukee Brewers, and unfortunately, he had to play first base now because they moved over to the National League.
Oh, hang on. What the hell's that dude's name?
Bernie Mac.
No, the guy I'm thinking of.
Oh, the baseball player. Danny, have you ever seen the movie The Natural?
Yeah, of course.
Great movie, great book.
Yeah.
What about
Richie Sexton played for the Brewers and the Mariners.
I was thinking
Richie Sexton?
Richie Sexton. Yeah, Richie Sexton.
Did he also play for the Angels or no?
No.
You
He
sure?
played for the Indians, the Brewers, the Mariners, and the Yankees.
Well, it's correct. So we're down to 2 last ones.
Dude, you can't say that anymore.
Oh. Well, I just did. The answer's correct. What do you mean?
No. They're the Guardians now.
There's no Guardians here. I didn't say Guardians.
The Guardians. Well, they were the Indians at the time.
Definitely. I just.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding. Please continue.
The other one you got.
All right. So, Danny, we're trying to fill in Houston and Miami, and then you're going to help us decide how to complete the grid. And to just recap, we'll give you a second to think. We're professional time wasters. Going from left to right, Houston, Milwaukee, and New York. We got our one blank spot there. We got Gene Segura, Giancarlo Stanton. And then in row number 2, column. Which one goes horizontal? Columns?
I have no idea.
Columns go horizontal, I'm pretty sure. So the second column, we got Rafael Montero, Richie Sexton, Mike Ford.
For Yankee Seattle is Mike Ford.
Sure.
We have Houston and New York. We got Justin Verlander, Mike Cameron. That was me. You don't have to be impressed, Danny. It's okay. You're going to help us fill in the Mets and the Yankees, but listen, we still need a Houston Astro and a Miami Marlin.
I know, I'm trying to think of somebody. Oh, dude, Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone?
Yep.
All right.
Well, this is a plot twist.
We're going to see if that works. And you're good. All right, Danny.
0.39%. Damn. Okay.
All right.
And now for Yankees Mets. All right.
So here it is, Danny. We've already come up with.
So we have David Cohn, Chris Capuano. We have
Curtis Granderson. We have Willie Randolph.
Robinson Cano.
Willie. Oh my. Oh. God. I might walk away. I forgot that Cano played for the Mets. I might walk away now.
Who else can we say here? There's definitely more.
Dude, so many Mets Yankees I could name.
Is there did Chris Young play for the Mets?
I have no idea.
Chris Young, the pitcher?
Which one?
Yeah, that's very true. The outfielder.
Oh. I don't know. All right, Danny, what do you got?
Oh, boy. Let's see. Armando Benitez, Robin Ventura, John Olerud.
Wait. Is Bonita? No, wait. Who's the guy that they pay every year? That's Bobby Bonita.
That's Bobby Bonita. But
Armando Benitez was what on the 2000 Mets, the early that team that went to the World Series, Danny.
I believe so.
You were alive and you were 30 at that point, so because you're old.
For which team?
For the Mets.
You know what? I got one for you, Jason, and
Do
it's
you?
going to blow your mind. Are you ready for this?
All right, Danny. He's gonna fill in the grid. I guess we don't need your help.
The Ithaca College grad.
Oh my God, you're right.
The
Maybe Lou Castro.
MLB.
Hell yeah.
It is Tim LeCastro, and that will complete our grid. Tim LeCastro at 1% played for the Yankees, Mets, and Arizona Diamondbacks.
So that is going to complete the podcast, I guess. One of the best walk-offs in all time. Second to this.
Cornelius with a wild shot to left center. This could be good enough to bring the run home. It's gone! It's gone! A walk-off grand slam from Brandon Cornelius, and the Stormcats win it! Can you believe it? Unbelievable fashion as they defeat the Rose Generals. The dog pile commences at home plate as the Stormcats win 8-5.
Hope you guys enjoyed that, Pat. That was a good non sequitur, right? Not a non sequitur. I guess it worked out. What I meant was it was good improvisation. Danny, thanks so much for joining us. We're gonna let you go because
No problem.
you're not really a full part of this, man. We'll see you at the
All
wedding,
right.
buddy.
Carry on, gentlemen.
We'll see you at the wedding.
Take care, man.
Is it?
Our thanks to Danny Taylor. Our thanks to Pat Taylor.
Pleasure to be here. Always will be. Well, unless you have me. Unless you don't have me. Depends on what you're feeling.
And we were going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott, but that's just a perfect way to end the podcast. New York Met, New York Yankee, 2000 and...
Talking about Ezekiel.
2000, no. 2015, I think a college graduate, Tim LeCastro, went deep a couple of days ago for the Mets. I don't know. I haven't watched in a few days. The Mets fucking suck. This has been Wex on, Wex off. Coming up tomorrow, an Emmy winner.
I hope to see it. I hope to hear it. I'm excited for you. And thanks for having me on, Jason. Always a pleasure. Can't wait till the next time.
And we were so shy, taking it slow. Nothing more than friends, and there you go, pulling me in. And I knew if I lost you, I'd never heal, never feel